Hi there, we're with Giselle from Meta Health. First of all, congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
Please, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what Meta Health does?
Okay, well, thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all, we're really delighted to have won the award, so we really appreciate it. So, my name's Giselle Mattam, and I'm a nurse by background with quite a number of years' experience in healthcare, mainly the NHS. And 4 years ago, my husband and I, Lawrence Mattam, decided that we wanted to start Meta Health, and it was based on the fact that my own family member, actually my father, needed healthcare when he was in Trinidad, and he asked me what the best course of action should be because of my nursing background. And I decided that he should come over to the UK to have private healthcare. So I researched the right consultant, and it was spinal surgery that he needed. So I found the best neurosurgeon in the country because it's my father, right?
Yeah.
And made all the arrangements for him. And he had his procedure, and I remember when the surgeon came out and he was coming towards us to tell us how the operation went. I was sitting with my brothers, and I remember shaking because I was so emotional, thinking, this is my dad you've just operated on. And I remember walking down the corridor towards the ITU. Now, as a nurse, when you hear the words ITU or ICU, you're thinking tubes
Alarm
coming
bells,
out. You're thinking he's not good. He's going to look awful. And I remember pushing the door towards for the ITU, and I just had this picture in my mind, and as I opened the door, there he was sitting up, looking like he'd had the best facial in the world, with a small cut on his neck, and he just had major spinal surgery.
Wow.
And this surgeon had done the surgery minimally invasive, and he recovered really well. I mean, I can't even express the relief that I felt seeing him looking so well. He recovered really well from that, and I remember thinking, I want other people to have this experience.
Yeah.
I want to do this for other families, for other daughters, for other sons. And that's kind of where Meta Health was born. So Meta Health is a medical concierge company, and essentially we support people to access private healthcare in the UK, whether it's people who reside in the UK, so UK residents, or international clients. So what we do essentially is we research the best consultant for them, and we're connected to a very wide network of consultants who are at the top of their game. So we research the right consultant for them, and what do we want? We want them to have the best outcome, like my dad did at the time. So we're quite niche in the way that we find the right consultant for them. For instance, if it's an older person with a hip issue, that's different to someone who's sporty and who plays sports. So we really think about what their needs are. And once we've done that, we organise all of the appointments for them. If they're international, we organise a virtual consultation for them, and we organise their accommodation, their airport transfers. We organise everything that they need in order to have a seamless experience. And once they're here, we look after them from the moment they get here to the time they go home. So even the discharge arrangements and everything. In terms of UK residents, we do exactly the same, although they may not need accommodation. They may do if they live far away. And so we do exactly the same for UK residents. So we really pride ourselves in two things. One, finding absolutely the best consultant for our clients, and two, treating them the way that we would want our own family members to be treated.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. And would you say that there's been any key highlights over the past year or few years that you'd like to share?
I think so. COVID was very difficult for us because we launched just before COVID. it was difficult in that, there were restrictions, etc. But it gave us a lot of time to reflect on how we wanted to deliver the service. And so we're just gaining quite a lot of momentum. We recognise that there is an issue with waiting times, etc. And so we've been helping UK residents to, if they can, to access private healthcare, and that's been brilliant. We've also been helping, international clients. And in terms of highlights, just to answer that point, I'll give you an example, because examples are always the best way to highlight these issues. So we recently had a gentleman who was on the waiting list for a hip replacement and decided he was in a lot of pain, so he wanted to have it done privately. And we now work with a clinic that does minimally invasive hip surgery. And this gentleman, 83-year-old gentleman, with some dementia, and his family obviously really anxious. He's just had his hip replacement, his minimally invasive hip replacement, and the approach that the consultants use is quite a unique approach. And he was sitting up an hour after he got back to the ward, having this delicious lunch.
Wow.
And 2 hours later, he was walking around the ward.
Wow.
And then the next day, he was discharged, and he was able to walk up and down stairs. And he's doing so well, so well. And he had a hip replacement a few years ago, the other hip, and very, very different experience. So that's our highlight. That's what we want. We love to see when our clients get the best outcome and they're happy, but also the family.
Yeah.
The family are really happy.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. And just quickly, in terms of future prospects, projects or plans, is there anything that's really exciting you at the moment?
Yes, so one of the things that we're doing is we are trying to build an international network of associates. So when people come from different countries, and the medical tourism industry is worth billions, and people, every single year we get a number of people coming over to the UK for private healthcare, not to use the NHS. Yeah. And we want to be able to help as many people, serve as many people as possible. So we're building this international network of associates who are based in their own countries. And so they're medical tourism agencies that people would go to in their own countries, and then they refer those patients to us. And the reason for that is because, one of the things that people find difficult, especially when their health is concerned, is trusting.
Yeah.
And so in building this international network of associates, we want a community, an international community that will support people to come to the UK. And it helps the economy.
Yeah.
It helps the economy. In terms of the NHS, what we'd like to do actually is work more with the government to support people in the NHS who want to have private healthcare, to access that healthcare quickly, because sometimes it's confusing.
Yeah.
And this is why our clients who are UK residents come to us, because they're confused, they don't know who to go to. Well, we do, and so we can help them with that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and congratulations again, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say, I know that an awful lot of work went into organising this, so we are really appreciative of all that hard work. So please thank all your colleagues.
Oh, I will pass it on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.